Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
On the eve of January 31st, the Reserve Bank of India pronounced a rather unusual death sentence for Paytm Payment Bank. It barred the bank from undertaking any banking activities whatsoever. No deposits, no credit transactions, no wallet top-ups, no bill payments, nothing after February 29th. A week after, a tumultuous ride has played on the Paytm stock. Confusions around what this means for billions of Paytm users. The stock has now made a sharp rebound. It's up 10% and has hit the upper circuit after 4 consecutive lower circuits that we've seen on Paytm before this. The question that we want to find answer to is whether Paytm is too big to fail or to let fail by the authorities in India. Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra, and in this special edition, we're going to be focusing all about Paytm and what the future holds for Paytm going forward from here. Joining in to share the insights on the Paytm inside story and what the future outlook could be like, I'm now joined by a very special guest. Avinash Gorakshakar now joins in. He's the head of research at Profit Mart Securities. Welcome, Avinash, and thank you so much for taking the time out for this important discussion. It's been a week, and every day has been a day when we have discussed Paytm with respect to stock markets, the way it has performed, and outside of the stock markets, it's everybody around us who's still confused about whether Paytm will stop functioning after February 29. What is the future of the company? Even though the direction is only for the payments bank, a lot is being talked about what the future really holds for Paytm going forward from here. What is your own view on the Paytm situation, Avinash? Over the last 1 week, how have you analyzed the situation?
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, Sakshi. See, first of all, I want to tell one thing to you as well as all the viewers that Paytm had some regulatory issues, I think, which RBI, clearly have some conclusive evidence. And that is why such a important and a very drastic step was taken by the, RBI. Most importantly, I think whenever there are companies which don't follow the rules and, obviously don't follow the guidelines, such kind of compliance issues come up. And that is exactly what has happened in case of Paytm. I believe that, at least in the very short term, February 29th is the deadline after which, as you rightly said, they can't operate the payment bank, they can't operate their wallet. There have been some conflicting reports in the market, like the wallet business could be sold off to some other group, which obviously has been denied. So I think, a lot of speculative activity happened in the past, and that actually brought down the stock quite severely. What you're seeing now is just a technical bounce, because let me tell you, one important commentary which the management had made some time back was that they would become EBITDA positive by September 24. Now that looks a little difficult. My sense is that it's going to take a long time. Maybe, it may take another 3-4 quarters, because this business used to account for roughly 20%. And obviously, at least for the next 2 to 3 quarters, I don't see any improvement. In fact, there were reports that, the promoter MD of the company, that is Paytm, met the finance minister. And clearly he was told that, let RBI take a call. If RBI does not remove the blanket ban on which happens from 29th of February, then I think you're going to see a lot of business going away from Paytm, and which is quite significant. As far as, the long-term prospects of this company are concerned, I would say that, if the company is able to come out of this regulatory mess, if they put their books in order, then I think you could see a good bounce back. But as of now, I would not suggest investors to just jump in because the stock is up by 2%. This could be a technical bounce. On fundamentals, it still appears to be a little pricey. And I don't think, investors are in a hurry to get in, because a lot of HNIs, a lot of funds have invested at higher levels, and this stock has continuously come down. So there could be a lot of pressure also going forward. So I think, let the water settle down. Let us get some commentary post February 29th, and after that it would be a good wise decision to take a call. But as of now, it looks a little bit dicey.
Okay, as of now things still look dicey on Paytm. As far as the stock market is concerned, there could be a bounce, but whether it's sustainable, only time will be able to tell us. On the point that you talked about, sir, that the regulator may have found some evidence which is clearly, with relating to the compliance issues. While the regulator has taken actions against various financial entities in the past, this one sort of had a finality to it. They clearly mentioned that after a particular date, you have to stop functioning completely. The unprecedented measure really left industry experts questioning the gravity of the regulatory concerns that really led to such a final and unyielding decision as well. So my point to understand here is that do you expect a potential clarification coming in from the Reserve Bank of India on what kind of compliance issues have really come in, and because this is needed for the extensive user base that the company really deals with?
No, I think they will definitely should come out with a clarification post February 29. But I think, see, what is important is that there have been some market reports, of course, not authenticated, but what we have been hearing is that since 2018, the regulator has been observing Paytm very closely, and they came at a point where it was just not possible for them to let Paytm continue. So I think, a lot of data analysis, a lot of homework has been done by the RBI. RBI is a very stringent regulatory body. They will never take such a decision in a hurry. So I think a lot of data points have been gathered. There has been some conclusive evidence. Now, what have been the key reasons? I think obviously, we will have to wait for that. But I'm quite sure that they would obviously ensure that all the investors are aware as to what has
Recording
been
in
the
progress.
so I think it's
Right.
a matter of time. I would believe, it's better to wait for February 29th. And post that, I think we will get some clarity because obviously, Paytm wallet has got about 30 crore, participants logged in there. A
Yeah.
lot of confusion has happened. So I think, it's the size of the market which Paytm controls here. And since Paytm is a very old player, anything which happens to Paytm obviously takes a direct hit across, the masses. So I think clarification will come, but till that time, Sakshi, it's very difficult to pinpoint as to what have been the real reasons for this blanket kind of
Sure.
ban by the RBI. So let's wait and watch.
Sure, absolutely. Two very important points that you have made here, sir. One is the huge customer base that Paytm deals with, and there are reports that suggest that about 3,000 to 4,000 odd crore rupees of funds across wallets could be kept, at this current stage in time. So one is that dealing with people's money is one. And the other important point that you mentioned is that ramifications across the industry, which I will come to a little later. First, let's deal with the current customer base and the impact on the customers. Looking at such a large base, do you think it is possible that Paytm's Payments Bank will be given a chance to rectify, to fix its systems at all? Or will it be, all and nothing? Or do you think that this has come after a long time of deliberation? It's been very hard for such a respected regulator in the country, and there may have been no other option left for the RBI than to just, take this stern step at this point in time. What exactly are you really looking at this situation, sir?
So I think, see, the government would obviously look at it in a positive way, and I think RBI would also look at it constructively. But I think, whatever they decide as to rectify will be a long drawn process. So it's not going to happen overnight. And the complete recovery for this, process for Paytm to get completely properly regulated may take some time. So it may take 3 months or it may take over 6 months. So I think, investors need to understand that this is not going to happen overnight. I mean, Paytm will also take some time to readjust according to the RBI guidelines. So I am quite positive that some solution will come in, but I think, the solution when it comes, how much time it takes for Paytm to implement all those regulatory measures is going to be quite crucial, because till that time, business is going to be impacted. And obviously, if the numbers, the data points don't come out as per expectations, then I think, the fundamentals continue to be weak. So, people are expecting this company to be EBITDA positive very soon. This may not happen because of this regulatory measure. So we'll have to wait and watch. Definitely a solution will come, but I think how much time it takes to improve upon all these regulatory measures is going to be a key element which has to come from the management side also.
Okay. The other important part that I wanted to discuss with you is the way people are reacting to this grave situation. Now, I'm talking about especially the merchants that are linked to Paytm. There are reports that suggest that especially when it comes to the small and medium enterprises, a lot of migration has already started to happen from Paytm to the other options that are coming about. Is there a potential loss for such merchants also which are dealing with this uncertainty? Should the regulator also alleviate their concerns at this point in time?
No, I think, see, in the short term, the merchants have got no choice but to shift, their wallet to some other wallet, because clearly, if RBI sticks to its guns and says that post February 29th, Paytm wallet will not function, then I think it's going to have an impact on all the merchants. Typically, this business is all about technology. Fintechs have to be very careful about the regulatory measures. So whenever such issues do come in, I think the only option for merchants or for customers is to switch over to some other platform. And I think, near term, I think this is the only solution left with them, because they cannot just sit idle. Now, once you move on the fintech platform, obviously you want the continuity. So obviously some other competitors will take a little bit advantage because of this development. But I think I'm quite sure that, once Paytm gets a clear signal from the RBI that corrections need to be done, they are given a timeline to sort out all those issues, then I think things will be back to normal. But in the short term, merchants will have no choice but to shift to some other wallet and some other fintech platform, because business will continue. So they would not like to just wait relentlessly without any solution from the companies.
Right. So, in the interim, we've also seen Vijay Shekhar Sharma, the founder of Paytm, having met Finance Minister for just about 10 minutes or so, yet to come out with the clarification as to what was transpired between the Finance Ministry and, Paytm founder at this point in time. But from day one, he has, in his statement started to perhaps distance himself from Paytm's payment bank, despite the fact that Paytm owns 49% of the stake in the payments bank as well. What does this, really tell us at this point in time? Would it be easy for Paytm to let go of Paytm's payment bank completely at this stage in time? Will they be able to sustain their revenues, profits and growth that they have been banking on? A significant portion of their business really comes in from the payments bank as well. So tell us, how have you been assessing that?
No, I think, see, there have been a lot of speculative reports that the Paytm bank license could be cancelled, or typically this bank could be, hived off to some other, business entity. Now, I think, see, these are all speculative reports. We have not
Yeah.
got any authentic information. But my guess is that if you're looking for a long-term sustainability, I think, see, Paytm, one has to appreciate that it has been an Indian brand created in India. And I think not only the customers, the vendors, the merchants, even the government recognizes that. So this meeting between Vijay Shankar Sharma and the FM, I think we may not know what actually transpired. But one thing is very clear: the government has actually clearly ensured that RBI is the final regulator that will take the final call. And I think some solution will come in. But in the near term, these speculative reports will continue. My sense is that I don't think the payment bank which Paytm runs is going to be hived off. There could be some hiccups here, but I think going forward, I think once clarity comes in, then only I think you will see, the payment bank resuming its operations on a full scale basis. Till that time, at
Right.
least next 2 3 quarters, we could see, a lot of uncertainty.
A lot of uncertainty to remain over the next few quarters. Sir, there are also reports that have suggested that several Indian startup founders have actually written to the Prime Minister's office and the Finance Ministry as well as the central bank requesting a rollback of the restrictions. Now, these are just reports, but there are reports suggesting that perhaps in a letter to all these authorities, talking about the potential ramifications of the current regulatory directive on payments bank, what you were also alluding to, that could extend far and beyond the immediate impact on the company, has been raised as a concern. Could you explain to us what potentially could be the ramification in case the Paytm's bank is shut shop completely?
No, I think my guess is, see, I think if it is shut shop, then I think it creates another negative surprise for Paytm. I think you could see a further sell off on the stock, because Paytm Bank, as you rightly mentioned, is a very important piece in the overall value chain for Paytm. And I think if it is, if the payment bank is cancelled, license is cancelled, and then I think markets would start discounting, a further negative reaction. So I think, your question about startup founders writing to the finance ministry, to the RBI, I think, see, these are very normal things which happen. But I think the RBI will also now ensure that there are very strict rules and regulations which all companies have to follow meticulously. I think something which needs to be understood is that Paytm may have not, adhered to the regulatory kind of measures which RBI wanted, and that was the reason this drastic step was taken. So I think you'll have to look at the fact that without RBI's blessings and approval, no startup or no fintech can perform meticulously. So I think, RBI will not like to loosen its stance. They will obviously put a new rule book in place, and I think the regulations, if they are followed, I don't think RBI will have any problem against any fintech company. I mean, even Paytm, hopefully, if the solution comes in, they will like that this company does a proper process-oriented regulatory kind of exercise, which is in favor of the customers, and obviously that will continue the business.
Okay. Or lastly, sir, I just wanted to understand from you, given this entire scenario, given the kind of, push that is coming in from the startup space at this point in time, looking at the extensive user base that we are talking about, people's money getting involved, because Paytm has been a hugely successful story that has been at the forefront of putting forward Digital India story at this point in time. Do you still believe that Paytm is too big to fail or to let fail at this point in time, that there could be a glimmer of hope coming in from the authorities to extend that helping hand to sail through despite the kind of correction, issues that have been raised, but perhaps given some more time to correct that and come back into action?
No, I'm quite optimistic, Sakshi, because I mentioned this in my earlier part of my interview now that, see, I'm hopeful that some solution will come out, but I think the solution will at a time when RBI is satisfied with all the regulatory measures and processes taken by Paytm. So I think it's not that the government would go against Paytm for some flimsy reason. They have some valid reasons, but I think obviously a solution could come in, and I think we should not lose hope. I think at the end of the day, the government would also like to not send a wrong signal to the fintech industry. So at the end of the day, if the regulator decides that there are some rules and regulations which need to be followed, they would have to be strictly followed. And I think that is something which I think I'm hopeful post February 29th, the RBI will definitely give some formal, timeline for Paytm to come back and, put its house in order. And I think that should be a positive surprise, for the company, because of course it may take some time, but I think it should come in. That's what my thinking is.
All right. Well, with that, thanks a lot, Mr. Karakshakar, for being with us on this show and sharing such important insights with respect to Paytm, giving us a lot of clarity as to what can be expected for now. Even though the bounce would have happened for Paytm, things still look uncertain. So a lot of cautiousness is what you have warranted for all the investors looking at the valuations at this point in time, and maybe looking at the prices which have corrected 40% in the last few trading sessions, and maybe looking to buy in at this point in time. A lot of caution needs to be prevailed at this point till the time some more clarity emerges in this situation. We will have to wait and watch out for a lot of developments to take place, but there is a hope that perhaps the government and the authorities will ensure that all the issues are sorted out. Probably Paytm is given that timeline to put this house in order and to come back, because the ramifications could be large for the people at large, the merchants and the fintech ecosystem at large as well. Many thanks, sir, for being with us on to this special edition and sharing such wonderful insights. Always a pleasure having you with us. And with that, we wrap up this very special conversation with Avinash Karakshakar on a very important topic that is of extreme importance to us, our viewers, and of course the investors of Paytm at large as well. A lot of clarity, I hope, is what you've got from this conversation about what the future holds for Paytm at large. Many thanks for being with us on this special edition. But do stay tuned. Earnings conversations to follow very soon.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunitions, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today. Celebrate 32 years of leadership in business news with Business Today. From the groundbreaking AI cover of Sundar Pichai to PM Modi's exclusive on G20, we redefine headlines. Now our 32nd anniversary issue explores India 2029, the 5-year agenda with industry titans sharing exclusive insights. So, just BT it for unparalleled perspectives. Business Today. 32 years of leadership, innovation, and business brilliance. Subscribe now.